Hello and welcome to CBSE English Enthusiasts by Karuna. Melinda Gates says, and I quote, "A woman with a voice, by definition, is a strong woman." So, on that note, we shall start today's chapter, Aunt Jennifer's Tigers. Now, contrary to the quote that I just cited, are the women who fail to express their thoughts and opinions because they have been subjugated, they have been suppressed their lifetime, and have come to a point wherein they do not have any desires or any ambition left in them. So there are strong women and there are women like Aunt Jennifer. Now, Aunt Jennifer, in this poem, what is it about? It's about the struggle of these women in a male chauvinist society. So these women, like Aunt Jennifer, they have been suffering under a male dominance, a male, a patriarchal culture, wherein they have come to a point that they do not have any ambition, they do not have, their confidence is shattered, their voices are suppressed, and they just exist without having any hope for their life. Now, you see, this poem on a surface level talks about Aunt Jennifer, who is sewing tigers in a panel. Now, what's a panel? Panel is the tapestry. ये जो है, ये frame है जिसके अंदर Aunt Jennifer. Now, this is just a picture of showing you how these tigers she must have embroidered these tigers on the panel. So there are tigers, the heading suggests tigers, so it's this picture has just one. However, there are tigers. Now, Aunt Jennifer, she is kind of doing an embroidery on a panel and she has sewn tigers. Now, think about a woman who's suppressed, who lacks confidence, who lacks energy, who lacks, everything bold and bright and strength. She's sewing tigers. Now, tigers are a symbol of strength, magnanimity, magnificence. So she's sewing tigers on the panel. So how contradictory these pictures are. अगर आप tigers को देखो, they stand for bravery, they stand for strength, they stand for power. And Aunt Jennifer, she is somebody, she is representative of all those women who have constantly been suffering in their married life. Though Aunt Jennifer, on the surface level, she is a woman who suffers from patriarchy, who's dominated by her husband, and she is kind of sewing tigers on this panel. Now, however, she is representative of all those women without voices, all those silent struggles that these women have faced throughout the time and age. So we talk about Aunt Jennifer and her tigers. Now there are three stanzas of this poem. So stanza one talks about the magnanimity of the tigers. Stanza two talks about Aunt Jennifer herself and how, different parts and different phrases that have been picked up to convey that she is suppressed. And then third, wherein talks about that the hope that the future for Aunt Jennifer is going to be ringed with ordeals. She's not somebody who's going to voice her opinion out. She's somebody who's going to silently suffer and struggle till she dies. However, the tigers that she has made will go on prancing, proud, and unafraid. So we break this poem stanza wise explanation. Then I tell you about the symbolic meaning of things that's taken up in the poem. And then we talk about keywords and phrases, also the poetic devices. So let's start with stanza one of this poem. Before we begin, the poem explores the tension between the inner strength and external struggle. So externally, she is being suppressed under a male dominant society. However, her inner strength makes her sew tigers on the panel. She's creating tigers on the panel. The tigers are symbolic of strength and, the strength and power and boldness. Through the contrast of Aunt Jennifer's delicate, constrained life and the fierce, defiant tiger she embroiders, Rich delves into the themes of female resilience. Resilient, she's constantly not giving hope. She's going day in and out of this endurance and this pain. She undergoes all of it, and impact of patriarchal constraints and the power of art to express a suppressed inner self. Now, this is the poem. This is how your poem looks like. So let's go with stanza wise explanation. Aunt Jennifer's tigers prance across a screen. Now, इसमें आपको ये ध्यान देना है. In the board exam, they give you pick up words and the meanings of which you must know. So there will be questions based on the meanings, the synonyms, the antonyms, the use of words in sentences. So you ought to be clear with all the meanings that's represented in the stanza. Aunt Jennifer's tigers prance. Prance is walking with energy, walking with confidence. Prance across the screen. The screen is the panel where she has shown these tigers. So on that panel, the tigers are shown to be walking in confidence and energy. Bright topaz. They are bright. The hue of the tiger is bright yellow colored. So bright topaz. Denizens. Denizens meaning dwellers of a world of green of the forest. So these tigers are the dwellers of the green forest. They do not fear the men beneath the tree. Now, the men beneath the tree, they inspire fear. Men are representative of that patriarchy, the male chauvinism. However, these tigers are completely unaffected by the presence of men beneath the tree. They pace, they move about in sleek chivalric certainty. Sleek chivalric certainty, ये आपके alliterative words हैं. ई वाला sound stress आ रहा है. So sleek chivalric certainty. So these tigers, they move in, very graceful manner with confidence and with grace. Now, in इस stanza में आपको क्या, the words that you need to know, prance is moving with energy, bright topaz, bright yellow colored, denizens का मतलब है dwellers, residers, world of green का मतलब है forest. They pace, they move about in sleek chivalric certainties. Sleek is walk with grace and confidence, and in a graceful manner. They are shown on the panel. वो panel पे, in a very graceful gait of these tigers are embroidered. So, the bright yellow colored, it shows how brilliantly these tigers are represented. ये tigers जो हैं, these are symbolic of the inner desire of Aunt Jennifer to be free and to be bold like these tigers. क्या है ये tigers? They are symbolic of the inner desires to be of Aunt Jennifer to be free and magnanimous like these tigers. However, that's not the case. पर वो, she never gives up. She wants to be like those tigers. So this is what stanza 1 is about. Stanza 2, Aunt Jennifer's fingers fluttering. Fingers fluttering, it's moving in a very nervous manner. It's shaking, trembling. So fingers fluttering, the fur sound becomes your alliteration. Aunt Jennifer's fingers fluttering through her wool. So while she's doing that embroidery, her finger kind of shakes and it nervously moves. Find even the ivory needle hard to pull. So ivory needle, which is symbolic of the medium of art, wo itta sa needle bhi, because she's so traumatized emotionally and physically, she's so traumatized that pulling that ivory needle becomes an ordeal for her. The massive weight of uncle's wedding band. Now, wedding band is symbolic of the suppression in a married life for women like Aunt Jennifer. Massive weight of uncle's wedding band, तो वो ring का इतना सारा weight है उनके ऊपर. So basically, exaggeration is the device that's been used here, poetic device. Exaggeration, also known as hyperbole, hyperbole. So hyperbole, exaggeration. That's the that's the poetic device used here. Massive weight of uncle's wedding band sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hands. Sits heavily जब बोलेंगे तो personified, the wedding band is personified, sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. तो मतलब उसके लिए वो बहुत बड़ा task है to carry forward the weight of her wedding band. So the wedding band becomes symbolic of the traumas, the sufferings that she endures. That wedding band becomes a task for her to carry ahead in life. So it shifts focus, it shows the fluttering. Now, words that you need to know and the literary devices. Fingers fluttering, alliteration. Fingers are nervously moving, trembling fingers. Through her wool, she's with that wool, she's doing the embroidery. So through her wool, the fingers are fluttering. Find even the ivory needle hard to pull. Ivory needle is symbolic of the medium of art. The massive weight of uncle's wedding band. Wedding band is symbolic of the suppression in a married life. Massive weight. Figure of speech क्या है? The poetic device क्या है? Your poetic device is hyperbole, Hyperbole. Sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. This is more of a personified, wherein the wedding band is personified. Now coming to stanza 3. When Aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie, still ringed with the ordeals she was mastered by. Still ringed, still consumed. So she's not shown to be somebody who would voice out her concerns, who would voice out her struggles. She would silently suffer. So uska jo fate hai, it's not a very good fate that we talk about. It's not a very optimistic fate. So very, this the tone is very pessimistic for Aunt Jennifer. So वो कह रहा है कि the terrified hands, even after her death, the she would always be shown as somebody who was surrounded by all these suppressive behaviors of men around her. The tigers in the panel that she made, the tigers are the symbol of art. Now ये देखो, human life और art के बीच में there's a juxtaposition. तो human life, men are mortal, people will die, but art will continue to live forever. And her art, which is symbolic of the freedom that she longed for, the tigers in the panel that she made will go on prancing in that same energetic, in the same flow and energy. They will move, prancing proud, alliteration, purpose, sound repeated, will go on prancing proud and unafraid. So art will continue to thrive and live forever. However, Aunt Jennifer, she'll be consumed by these ordeals, by these massive tasks. She will be consumed by the subjugation, the suppression throughout her life. Even after her death, she'll continue to, live like a woman who never voiced out her fear. So, however, the tigers would go on prancing proud and unafraid. Now, key phrases: tigers prance across the screen. Tigers are shown as a symbol of, art and her inner desire to be free and have that kind of confidence. So, the tigers prance across the screen. The tigers are moving with grace and confidence and energy across the screen, is across the panel where she's embroidering tigers. Bright topaz denizens of the world of green. They are bright yellow colored. They are dwellers of the forest. Men beneath the tree, the men beneath the tree are men who show, they are patriarchal forces. They inspire fear, they inspire, awe, and so they are representative of a patriarchal society. Sleek chivalric certainty, the tigers will move with grace and confidence, and they are moving with grace and confidence. So the tigers that she has shown on the panel move with grace and confidence. Fingers fluttering through her wool, meaning she is shown as somebody who's nervous, who's trembling because of the emotional traumas and the physical trauma that she has suffered. Ivory needle hard to pull. So for somebody like her who suffered throughout her life, the even the ivory needle, even the small, small medium of art becomes a very, very heavy task to carry ahead and carry forward. Massive weight of uncle's wedding band. Hyperbole is the poetic device used. The weight of her marriage becomes massive for her. It's too tiring, it's exhausting, it's something that she does not want to willingly do, but she has to because she has no other choice. Because for somebody like her who do not know, women like her who do not know how to voice their opinion, there is no choice. Terrified hands. Terrified hands again becomes your transferred epithet. The hands are not terrified. She is terrified. So her terrified hands speaks to the deep seated fear, the deep, enduring impact of the oppressive experiences that she had. Ringed with ordeals, she'll be consumed with the suppression throughout her life. It's like the uncle is a ringmaster, and then he's kind of, ringed her, suppressed her, or surrounded her with all these, his controlling nature. Tigers in the panel, they are symbolic of freedom, they are strength, power, they represent magnanimity. Prancing proud and unafraid. Prancing proud becomes your alliteration. They are prancing proud and unafraid. The tigers will continue to move ahead in life. Now, symbols. Aunt Jennifer, she is symbolic of all these women who suffer in a married life. The tigers, they are symbol of power. They are symbol of defiance against the suppression. Defiance is disobedience, or uh, rejection of all the suppression. The panel is the tapestry where she is sewing the tigers. Men beneath the tree, they are symbolic of the patriarchal forces. The yellow colored of the tiger shows the bright, the creation of art, the beauty and magnanimity of the brilliance of art. The ivory needle again becomes a medium of art. Terrified hands, the aunt Jennifer, she's terrified. Her hands are terrified, meaning to say she's terrified, so it's a transferred epithet. She's terrified in her marriage. The wedding band is symbolic of the suppression, the oppression that she has to endure. Now, poetic devices, imagery. तो वो first stanza जहाँ पे पढ़ के आपको bright topaz denizens of the world of green, which builds an image in your head, becomes your imagery. So these are imagery. Metaphor, the tigers are metaphorical representation of Aunt Jennifer's inner strength. Alliteration, prancing proud है, fingers fluttering है, tigers prance है, sir sound repeat हो रहा है. तो जहां पे repetition of sound है, that becomes alliteration. Coming to juxtaposition, when two contrasting ideas are used parallelly, they are called juxtaposition. So fearless tigers juxtaposed with terrified Aunt Jennifer. Irony, when the irony basically is expression of something opposite to what I mean. So enduring defiant art stands in stark contrast to her oppressive life. It's like a situational irony. Somebody sewing tigers would be expected to have that strength and power. However, she's somebody who suffers in the marriage. Diction involves deliberate choice of words and conveys a tone. आप देखो, chivalric, terrified, massive, all these words show not only nobility but also the constraints, the hardships of Aunt Jennifer's life. So that's about it. Thank you so much. In case you have a question or anything that you do not understand, please feel free to reach out. I would definitely reply to you. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the love and blessings that I have been receiving from you. Thank you so much. See you all. Have a nice day. Thank you.